So as we return to our mat this morning, gently lower down onto the back body. Bring the feet to that bridge position where the heels are close to the sit bone, the feet are parallel. Take a moment, just pick up the hips and just a gentle tuck, a gentle pelvic tuck, so that you can begin to feel the low back being supported on the mat. Take a moment, maybe just bring the hands to the belly and the heart. Soften or close down the eyes. And then just come into your breath. The heart of our yoga practice, the centering of the body and the mind and the breath. Take 3 or 4 deep breaths in through the nose. Let the breath fill you. Let the exhale soften you. This new moon, I think it started at 5:43 Eastern time, the time where the sun and the moon rise and set together. 1 second where they just kind of meet. Maybe think of that union with nature. Set an intention. New moon cycle is 2 weeks. What would you like to release, or what would you like to receive? Set the intention. One more full breath. And as you release the breath, let's take whatever you have underneath the head out. This is where we're going to test the height of whatever you're using under your shoulder blades, and see if you can bring the back of the head down to the mat. And just for a second, maybe bring the arms out to a cactus position, a gold post, and just take a breath or two across the upper body. And just, if you need to adjust the height to lower, or if you don't feel anything, maybe to raise it up a little bit. So you get this nice incline where the heart is higher than the head. Deep breath in. And then just bring the hands, the heel of the hands, to the crease of the hips. And we're just going to test out now, before we begin, taking the breath in, drawing the belly in and up, shoulders soften. On your inhale, come up and slide the fingertips toward the knees, lifting the shoulder heads and the head. And then slowly exhale and bring everything down. And let's take about 5 sweeps. Inhaling fully as the belly draws in, we lift the shoulders and we lift the head. And then as slow as you can, we return. 3 more on your own. Beginning to work the muscles right underneath the sternum, the upper chest here. Last one. As you come back down, again, make any adjustments you need and interlace your palms around the curvature of your head, not the neck. Elbows come straight up to the ceiling. You'll hear me say this every core class. Don't look at your device. Keep the elbows, the gaze up. And here we'll move with breath. So when you're ready, inhale, draw the belly in, come up halfway. On the exhale, continue to curl the elbows towards the knees. Don't pull on the head. Come back down halfway, hold that, and then release the breath, release the head. So we're going to take 5 on our own, that 4 part. We do it slowly with breath. Inhale, belly in, lift half. Exhale, we curl. Inhale, we come back half, and then we lower down. 4 more. your way, your breath. So sometimes it helps to think about that floating bottom rib and your hip bone, just like drawing that area together as close as you can without pushing or pulling on the neck. The head rests in the canopy of the hands. We use full breaths in each movement. And while we might only take 5, like this, maybe you begin to feel going down the muscles you're working right at the top of that rib cage. Lower down, allow the elbows to spread out. Take a nice full breath. Now, if you were to do 10 or 20 of those, just like that, you will feel it. So don't try. I'm going to lead the twist, but if you want to continue on, if you feel you're working just as we were doing, stay with that. I'll lead elbow across the body to the knee. As you're ready, elbows come back up to the ceiling, gaze at the ceiling. Inhale draws the belly in and we lift up halfway. On the exhale, we elbow to the knee. Now, the knee stays over the hip, so I'm reaching that elbow towards that knee. Come back with the inhale halfway and lower everything down. So inhale, belly in, come up half. Revolve, elbow towards that knee. Come back halfway and down. Take 5 more here. Belly's in. Use your breath. Reach for the knee and lower. Up, cross, back, and lower. Take it on your own. Okay, I have one more set. And as you complete both sides, lower back down, open the elbows wide. Let the chest open, let the shoulder blades be heavy on your bolster, and just take in a full deep breath. And then we'll roll over to one side. If you want to stay there for just a second to let the chest relax, that's fine. Keep your towel or bolster next to you. Come back down onto your back body. Take a full stretch. Fingers away from toes. Feel the length of the whole torso here, your whole core. Stretch. And then walk the feet back to that bridge position and take that block or towel or whatever you're using. Press into your feet to lift the hips, coming into that bridge pose, sliding the weight to the top of the shoulders. And then slide whatever you're using underneath you to support you at your sacrum. So not on the flesh of the buns and not on the low back. Should feel comfortable here. And if you've ever been in a quote gym and they have you do sit-ups, sometimes they have you just slide your hands underneath your, like you're resting your hips on the back of your hands. The towel serves the same purpose. It just gives you a lift, but it protects the low back. So here we are, bring the knees to table. So again, knees directly over the hip points. Maybe lift the chest a little bit, squeeze the shoulder blades in. Take a nice full deep breath. You can hold the sides of your mat. You can extend your arms. You can do anything that feels comfortable in the upper body. And we're just going to drop a heel. We're going to alternate here. So draw in the belly. I like to feel my low belly between my hip points. I can feel that contraction. One heel drops. Inhale, we slowly bring the knee back. Opposite heel. As slow as you can, like you were moving through mud, bring the knee back up. So we're going to take about 5 rounds each side, nice and slow. We could let momentum do this whole thing, but that's not the point. So the slower you move, you'll begin to notice what it takes to bring that knee back to its position. What muscles in your body have to engage? And are you present enough to feel it? Breath is flowing. You've got your count. I think I have 1 more each side. And I'll return to that tabletop position. And then when you're ready, just draw your knees into the chest. So the hips are elevated. As you draw the knees in, you get this beautiful stretch into the low back. Enjoy that. And then return to table. And the same thing here. If you could feel that and it's effective, that's where you stay. I'm going to straighten the legs to soles of the feet towards the ceiling. Again, I draw in the low belly to protect my back. And if I begin to feel it in my back, my body is telling me I'm going too far. So listen to the feelings that you have. Support where you can support, but don't go as far if you begin to feel it. So again, heel taps with legs straight. As you're ready, inhale, breath comes in. Slowly lower one leg down. Maybe the heel taps, maybe it doesn't. Take your time to draw the leg back up. And then alternate. And then maybe with your fingertips on your belly, you feel those muscles engage. Keep them drawn in to protect the low back. A couple more here. And again, if you rush it, you miss half the fun. So use the breath and use a slow movement. And when you finish this next set, legs up and draw the knees in again. Squeeze in, feel into the stretch into the back body. And then re-extend the legs up. This time, if you want to add on, we're going to take both legs down. I tell you, I only go a third because I do feel it in my low back, and we do not want that. We're working the core in the front, not the back muscles. So big toe mounds together, knees together, press into the thighs, draw the belly in. As you're ready, lower any amount. One leg, which are really two joined together. Feel the weight and then draw it back. Flexing those feet, the heels lead the way. Any amount. And then slowly return. Take 5 more. Big breath. Use that breath. Good. Last one. Draw the knees in. Give them a nice hug in. And then feet return to the mat. We're going to lift back up into that bridge position. So feet are parallel, thighs are parallel. Lift as you press through those heels, lift the hips. Spend a moment here in your bridge just to feel the long line from the knees into the hip points, rib, chest to the shoulders. Take a full breath. If you ever want to do an advanced core class from your bridge pose, you would elevate one leg back to the ceiling, or you would take a figure 4, or there's a lot of things we could do just from this position. But we're going to pass the block. So take that towel, set it aside, lower yourself back down to the mat. As soon as you feel the whole spine supported, just walk your feet out to the corners, take a little windshield wiper. And then walk them back. Let's take that full body stretch. And as you take that full body stretch, find your block and place it above your head, between your hands. And if you do it the long way, it's easier to pass the block off. If you do it the short way, you're going to have a little more of a reach. And if this doesn't feel available to you, remember there's always the option to bend the knees and just pass the block into the calf, right? You don't have to reach up. That's your modification, right between the, the calves. Full body stretch, big inhale. Draw the belly in. And on your exhale, lift the legs, lift the shoulders, the head, everything off the mat. Legs don't come past the hip points as you pass the block off to the inner feet. Slowly lower everything down. Stretch it long. Big inhale now. Pull it up. Pass the block off. Inhale lowers everything down. Stretch it out. Again, belly in. Exhale all the air past the block and lower. 5 more. Slow as we can. Legs don't come over the hip points. We're reaching for those feet, not the feet to the head. Keep the core really engaged here. I'm on my last one. As I come down, let's all take that big stretch. Set the block aside. Roll over to one side. Make your way to your all fours. Stacking your joints, again, engaging your belly. Taking a couple cat-cows here. Again, just a nice spine release, but it's also when you drop that belly and lift the heart, you might feel this nice stretch into the muscles that you just worked. And then as you press into the palms and round through the spine, enjoy that. You've been on your back for the last 20 minutes. A couple cat-cows. And we'll take our grand finale this morning, which is our forearm plank. So I'm going to give you 2 options. Our normal, not normal, but what we normally come down to the forearms and bring the fists together, and we take our forearm plank that way. Or perhaps maybe today, you'd like to take that right forearm across the mat. So we're going to move into a side forearm plank. So you decide. You're either going to have legs extended, pressing into the forearms, or maybe you explore forearm across, legs extend, and then roll onto the edge of the feet. And as you do that, lift the hip, maybe the hand here. Couple breaths. Use the breath, lift those hips, press into the forearm, the elbow right underneath the shoulder. Stacking your joints. Yeah, I'm breathing hard and I'm trembling, but this is every muscle in your body holding your body weight. Draw the belly in. 3 more breaths. And slowly to come out, plant the hand, roll back, come down onto your hips. Just spend a moment here in a Sphinx pose. So Sphinx forearms are the number 11. Press the palms into your mat like you could drag them towards you. That finds space from the belly button to the navel, and then send the shoulder tips back. Take 2 breaths. And we'll move back into whichever form of forearm plank you'd like to take. So for me, I'm going to do the left side. I'm just going to turn around so it's still facing me. But again, feel free to take our regular one like this, or bring the left forearm across the body, tuck the toes, press your way over to the inside of your foot, lift the hips, draw the belly in. Arm can be wherever you'd like, whatever's going to support you and your breath, your body, your core. Full rounds of breath. Again, shoulder is right over that elbow. 3 more breaths. And then slowly, right hand's going to come down, roll back onto the hips, bring the arms back to that number 11, press into the palms, fingers wide, and draw them towards you. Open up the chest, let the belly muscles relax, and the shoulder tips fall back. And then stack the palms one on the other. Elbows as wide as you can take them to just release the underarms and chest. Rest the forehead on the palms. Pick up the heels. Just take that windshield wiper back and forth. Releasing the spine, the hips. Use the breath to settle the body. And then legs re-extend. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders to press your way up. Coming back now, heels, hips, maybe knees wide, giving you lots of space. Find a child's pose. So if you'd like knees together, allow the arms to come beside the body, palms up. If you'd like space in the belly, length in the spine, use the wide knees, child's pose. And just bring the head down to your block or the mat or your forearms. Complete rest. Easy breath. Happy new moon, my friends. Namaste. Feel free to turn off your device and just spend a little time here.